Hey, my name is Jamie Franks. I'm the head coach for the men's soccer team here at the University of Denver. I'll be entering my 14th season here, my 10th overall as the head coach. Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges of being a student athlete, a high-performing student athlete, is juggling your soccer, your social, and your school, and how do you be the best version of yourself in each. The first time we used NuCalm, we had a presentation about it, and it was something that we were kind of outwardly seeking, something to help the student athlete just balance kind of their focus or their stress, something that was able to aid in their sleep. And really we were looking for a different sort of stress management tool. And once we kind of started using it, it was really clear the impact that it was making on our student athletes. And I think over the years, now that the older guys are using it, they're modeling the correct behavior, and then so the younger guys come in. And so now it's just like it's an everyday part of our team. During my high stress moments, NuCalm has really helped with my sleep. Rescue is one of my favorites. I use it when I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I even set my alarm even earlier so I can get up and use the rescue. So for me, it was mostly my sleep debt or the quality of sleep that I was looking at. I normally listen to Focus on the way in to work, or when I have any sort of like tedious tasks I'm doing, I just kind of put it on. But overall, where it's helped me the most is just knowing that I've got something that's a sure thing to help me sleep at night. I use deep sleep obviously every night. My wife yells at me when I have to travel and she doesn't get the deep sleep app. For me, it's about understanding like what I'm lacking and then making sure that I'm being proactive with which program to use. I think over time, it's just evolved to where it's kind of set in our routines. As soon as we get into the hotel, when we travel, we do a NuCalm session, just a quick one. The whole team does. The lights are off. They all have their headphones in. We have yoga mats. On game days, the guys all use it for power naps, or they use the Focus app. Whenever you're on a plane, sometimes the plane's not even taken off yet and their guys have their eye masks on, they've got their headphones in, and you can see that they're doing rescue sessions. It just really has changed the dynamic of the way that the kids are resting, and I think the outcome of that is that we see guys more present. We see guys able to handle kind of the day-to-day and meet it a little bit more head-on than trying to kind of run away from things. Ultimately, we see a much more present locker room. We see guys that are a lot more focused, and that's just a benefactor of how they're using NuCalm throughout the day to get them there. I think what we're really just trying to teach the kids is, how do you prioritize really positive habits that are going to have great impact. And so where NuCalm comes in is, depending on when the guys have breaks, or we just think about it in time blocks. Time block 1 before training, time block 2 after training, before class, time block 3 after class, and time block 4 before bed. Different guys use the NuCalm in those different time blocks depending on how they need it. And I think the thing that student athletes really prepared for the real world is because every quarter or every semester is not the same, so they're not always going to have the same schedule. And so just making sure that they are very mindful of how they're using it and when they're using it. And as a coach, it's just our job to create a safe space for them to use it, for them to kind of have trial and error with it, and just ultimately to support them towards it. For one, I think you want to know when you're in those high stress moments, when are they occurring? And ultimately, how can you kind of center your breath, and how can you center your nervous system back down? And if you are in zone 4 or 5 and you're working at that capacity, how are you coming back down from it? I think one of the most important things after games is recovery, and I think it's really hard to be in that high zone 4 and zone 5 and then turn around and all of a sudden go to sleep. And I think it's a tool that allows them to kind of come back down. And then, once they're down and they're a little bit more centered, I think more learning happens as well. I think a lot of young athletes are very emotional after games, and they're always trying to analyze, and their emotions are too high and they don't have clarity in their thoughts. And so we really think that it aids in sleep. The biggest thing for their recovery is to help them, get to sleep after games. Just making sure that my emotions don't become me, or my thoughts don't overtake me. It just allows me to have a better center, a better balance. Where I really see it helps is like this idea of like elasticity. If I am emotional, I'm able to kind of come back to center. When I am being emotional, or when I do get caught up in my thoughts, just my ability to kind of come back and come to center. I just feel like by using NuCalm, it gives me a better sense of like, hey, this is what it feels like to be calm. This is what it feels like to be in this kind of flow state. That's really important for coaching. And every night I'm taking care of myself so then I can take care of other people. The results I see from the student athletes is going to make them better people for the long term. Yeah, sure, it makes them on the short term a better athlete, more present on the day, but how I've seen it really help people that are dealing with anxiety, people dealing with depression, people that are dealing with anxiety just around, managing their time. I would say that you're giving them a lifelong tool that's going to be able to really help them regulate themselves to find the best version of themselves every day. And no matter what they end up wanting to do, I think NuCalm is a tool that helps people be the best version of themselves. Your job as a coach is to develop good people. And for us, the mission is to develop authentic leaders who take pride in being the best version of themselves. So NuCalm fits right into that because it helps them balance their school, their soccer, and their social, and it allows them to be more present on the day. And some of the most proudest accomplishments that you have as a coach is well after college when they're getting up there and they're getting married, and that person is going to be a good partner, that person is going to be a good community leader, that person is going to inevitably find challenges or adversity in his life, but that you hopefully have given him enough character traits which they're going to come out on the other side of that better. And so as a college coach, you just wins and losses are just a byproduct into trying to teach character traits every day. And so what I'm most proud about is when they go into society and try to make the community better than what it was before.